All right, class. First off, as always, good day. I'm glad you're here. So, today we're going to be talking about the atomic bomb, how it was created, and things like that. And then we're going to talk about two battles in the Pacific that basically were pretty intense in the perspective of soldiers. Okay. So, here is your warm up picture. The question's basically, very straightforward. It's basically giving it to you. It's a question saying, what is this artist trying to say about how we can get peace? All right. Now, that bird you see there, that's supposed to be a dove. A dove is a symbol of peace. And if you notice what he has, that should basically tell you what is this artist saying is what's going to take for us to have peace. So like I said, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. You know, okay. So think about it, pause the video, write your response because we're moving on in three, two, one. Now, 1938, some German scientists discovered nuclear fission. Okay, fission is what makes the atomic bomb possible. Okay, the only problem is in order to create a lot of damage from nuclear fission, you need fusion as well. Now, fission, as you can see from this uh, diagram right here, is basically like a free neutron hits a cell, you know, molecule, and then when it hits it, it basically releases other neutrons. Okay, and then the fission product is also, because it's broken up now, it goes off, and those free neutrons are going off, hitting other um, atoms. Okay, now the thing is, when these free neutrons are released, it gives off some energy. Okay, and it's just, think of it like a room full of mouse traps. They're all set and ready to that. If you throw a little ball out there, it's gonna set off one, and then the one hits another, and then those other ones just, and it just creates total chaos. That's fission. Okay. Now, here's the thing: a lot of people who don't know about the atomic bomb, you know, they like to make up stuff that they don't know, or try to go with, oh, I heard this, so it has to be true. One of the biggest lies that has been told since the bomb was first created was that Albert Einstein built it. Albert Einstein made the bomb. No, he didn't, guys. Take that thought out of your head, get rid of it, stomp it on the ground, and kick it a little bit. I'm giving you permission to kick it. Okay? All Einstein ever did when it comes to the bomb was he wrote a letter to President Roosevelt, okay, in October 1939, basically telling him, yes, the Nazis are more than likely going to be creating a nuclear bomb. Okay. Now, we had some spies, not just us, but Britain and France, and they were infiltrating the Nazi, groups and headquarters and so that. They're planning people. And they basically found out that, yes, the Nazis want to create a big bomb. Okay. Now, did they use the word nuclear and some of that? Maybe, maybe not. But all we knew was they wanted to create a big bomb. So, December 28th, 1942, President Roosevelt authorizes the foundation of the Manhattan Project. Now, the Manhattan Project is the code name given for the American led creation of the atomic bomb. Now, it's one thing to say we're going to build a bomb, it's another thing to actually do it. And they needed someone to take a hold of the project, and they chose that guy right there you see in that picture. That is Oppenheimer. Okay. He is considered the father of the atomic bomb. Now, was Oppenheimer the smartest man in the whole world? No, 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 he wasn't. But what he was very, very smart, knowing about nuclear fusion and physics and engineering and things like that. So he was very smart. Okay. The thing is, though, too, he was a pretty good manager. He could see like, okay, this group might need help doing this. I'll help them out do that. This group needs a little. Hey, you need to work on this. You need to do this. So he could operate at all levels. Now, they did not have everyone in like one building in one town working on things. They basically spread it out over 30 different locations all around the United States. So one group might be working on the casing of the bomb. Another group might be working on the nuclear reactor. Some might be working on the mathematics of it all. Some might be looking at the physics of it all. Some might be theorizing this and this and that about the bomb, about fusion and implosion as opposed to explosion and stuff of that. So there was a bunch of guys, bunch of people working on this stuff, and nobody knew what the other people were working on. Nobody knew that there was another group. People had some idea, but they didn't know for sure you know and there was only like a handful of people in their entire government that knew everything what was going on. Oppenheimer was obviously one of those people. Okay, but yeah, different people were working on different things in their own specialty. Nobody from like the nuclear reactor stuff was working on the casing of the bomb. No, what would they know about that? you know Now there was three major locations for the bomb creation: Oak Ridge, Tennessee, Hanford, Washington, and Los Alamos, New Mexico. Now, this is one of the like, wow, this could have been a disaster incident when they were making the bomb. The world's first nuclear reactor started to be basically self-sustaining. So basically, it could like maintain. Like when you start a car and you turn it turns off, right? This thing could now turn on and stay on without, us doing something to start it up as people. It could just keep itself running. Okay. And that happened underneath a football stadium, underneath the University of Chicago. Okay. So there were people above them, like 30, 40 feet. And if this thing had been miscalculated, it could have exploded and killed all those people. Now, there were two major theories going on about what might happen if this like atomic bomb is created and detonates. The first one was a chain reaction. So remember I told you about the fission. The free atom neutron is hitting another one, and it releases other neutrons that hit other atoms and some of that, and it just keeps going and going and going and going. That's what they were fearing, that it would not stop. It would just keep going, and it would basically create this like fire and this like remember the energy being released would be like explosions. So it would just engulf the whole world. It would just continue just cover the entire world, going all the way around and stuff like that. So the world would basically be in flames. Okay. The second thought was that this explosion using fusion um, would basically create this big old fireball, so big, so strong, so massive that it would go high in the air, basically get into our atmosphere, light that on fire, because they thought the heat would be immense, like really, really strong, really, really, really high. And then that would catch the atmosphere on fire, punching a hole through our magnetic field that protects us from UV rays and solar flares and some of that. So not only catch the atmosphere on fire, basically maybe even destroy the ozone layer, and then disrupt the magnetic field to where if we were outside in the sun, we get burned bad. And when I mean bad, it's like I told the people in class, you ever had like been out in the sun for like really, really long time when you shouldn't have been, and you got that really bad sunburn, and like anytime you touch it, even a piece of clothing touches it, it's like you just hurt from it. Imagine that, getting that type of sunburn in milliseconds. You're just sticking your hand up, your hand is burned, instantaneous burn. Skin blistering and stuff like that because of the heat. That would basically be ultraviolet rays. And same thing with from solar flares would basically cook us, you know. So that's what some people were fearing. Okay. Now Oppenheimer's like, okay, yeah. Those are interesting theories. Let's do a test run. So on July 16th, 1945, at a site called Trinity near Alamogordo, New Mexico, they test a plutonium bomb. They build a big old tower. They put the bomb up on top. They do a countdown, and the bomb explodes. Um, it's the light is blinding. The shock waves knocks people down. Um, Oppenheimer, seeing this blast, utters a famous Hindu script. It says, I have become death, the destroyer of worlds. Because he realizes this thing that he helped create, this is total destruction. Now, June 15th, 1944, there's an island called Saipan. It's basically a 14-mile island. And it has a bunch of terrain. You know, it has like forest land, beach land, stuff like that. And it's defended by 30,000 Japanese troops. And for 2 days, the U.S. is just bombing this place from their boats and stuff like that at a distance. 2 days bombing it, right? And then they feel, okay, we can go in and try to invade. And for 4 weeks, our soldiers are fighting the Japanese soldiers. We lose about 16,000 soldiers. The Japanese lose almost all 30,000. You know, we're talking like 29,900 and like 40 something, you know. So they only have like a handful of soldiers left. Problem is, there's like Japanese civilians living on that island. There's about 4,000 of them. And the government and the soldiers basically convince those people that, hey, if you're captured by these U.S. soldiers, they're going to torture you, they're going to kill you, they're going to kill your kids, you know, like bash their heads in the rock. The girls, they might rape you, you know, things like that. So it's more honorable to not surrender. So as you see in that top picture, people jumped off this mountain called Marpy's Point. And as you can see on the side, there's some American soldiers who see these people jumping and they don't know why. And they're trying to get up there quick to stop them. Now, there were some Japanese people, civilians, who were like, I don't want to jump. I don't want to die. I don't want to commit suicide. And these soldiers end up killing those people anyway. So they basically had an option: either you die by our hand or you kill yourself. Okay. And yes, some people did survive because U.S. soldiers got there in time. Now, on February 19th, 1945, the Battle of Iwo Jima happened. Okay. For 72 days, the US was bombing that island you see on that bottom picture. We had ships all the way around it, and they were just bombing the island. Um, some students were asking me, like, in class, like, well, did they like take a break or so? Yeah, they did, you know, but still, 72 days of constant bombing. Yeah. Now, after the 72 days, they kind of figured, you know what? We we probably got them. Some of them they did get, yes, but the Japanese have had like a system of tunnels underneath the ground in caves, you know, some of that. On the if you can see that there's a mountain right there, a big mountain, and some of those soldiers were in those caves and stuff, so they were protected the whole time. Okay, and this is where the U.S. Marines come to Iwo Jima and on their boats, and they start fighting the Japanese. The fighting lasted about a month. Um, 6,821 soldiers are killed during this battle. Um, and basically, we capture, kill basically all the Japanese people are there. Now, what makes this battle unique is that 27 soldiers received the Medal of Honor for this battle. Now, the Medal of Honor is not just given just because, like, hey, you fought, here you go. They don't pass it around like candy. You really have to prove yourself in battle. Put yourself, your life on the line above and beyond what's being called for. Um, and, there's a lot of stipulations and regulations on it for someone to be a Medal of Honor recipient. Okay, so I know that name, the title Medal of Honor, is, people say it all the time, but you're not awarded it. It's not like, oh, here's a checklist stuff you did. Oh, you now you've earned it. No, it's an honor. It really is, and that's again why it makes this battle so unique. Is that there was 27 people who truly earned, to be called Medal of Honor recipient. And it's also when we took this island, true iconic picture is taken. And some of you guys, students in class, have said, "Oh yeah, I've seen that picture before." You know, so a lot of them have seen it. So let's see if you have. So that's it right there. So that big mountain you saw on the other slide, um, that's on top of that one. Okay. So that's it for this lesson. So hopefully you learned something new. Hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. So with that being said, guys, you take care, you be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Okay.